The third rail of politics, Social Security, the trust funds, disability and retirement, also Medicare's hospital and insurance trust fund. Now, they're supposedly in trouble. We've heard this off and on. I just want a couple of basic issues resolved. Is it true that the Medicare trust has only 8 months of actual reserves, A, and B, on Social Security? I've heard a variety of end years where we're going to run out of money or have to dip into reserves. Are there really any reserves? I was always under the impression it's a pile of IOUs. Can you straighten all this out for me?
Well, I'll do my best. You're correct that the Medicare Hospital Insurance Trust Fund has only about 8 months worth of benefits in it. Now, obviously, most of the funds coming into Medicare come from incoming payroll taxes, so it's going to take about 8 years under current projections for that hospital insurance fund to be depleted. But again, that's a very short period of time, not as short as 8 months, but quite short. As for Social Security, I think you're correct that, in a sense, the trust fund is holding IOUs. One way or the other, taxpayers have to foot the bill for Social Security benefits, whether through their payroll taxes or through their general income taxes, to redeem the IOUs held in the trust fund. Nevertheless, the impending drawdown of the trust fund is very important in Social Security, because without a positive balance in that trust fund, Social Security cannot send out the benefit checks. And right now, very substantial measures would be needed to align the program's incoming revenue and outgoing expenditures to enable that trust fund to stay positive.
Oh, Doctor, I've read various articles preparing for this interview, and basically it seems to me the common thread is if we don't do anything, there's going to come a time in 6 to 7 years, maybe 8, where Social Security benefits would have to be cut about 20% across the board. Is that true?
I actually think it's worse than that. I think it's much worse than that, because the size of the shortfall in Social Security is already so large. And this year it's starting to draw down those trust fund balances several years ahead of schedule. We are getting to the point where the changes that you would have to make to keep the system in balance are so great that if you wait 6 or 7 years, you're simply not going to be able to make them. And you would have to abandon the historical financing structure of Social Security to keep the program going. So the window of opportunity for balancing Social Security finances is actually in the process of closing now.
All right, Doctor, my final question, and I'm sure that this one's going to be more difficult to answer. Is some of this deterioration been from the Affordable Care Act, either before this administration or changes to it after? Is that made a big difference in the viability, especially on Medicare?
Well, it's a little different in the two programs. The effective legislation is a little larger on the Medicare side than it is on the Social Security side. But honestly, most of the deterioration has nothing to do with recent legislation. It has to do with payroll tax revenues coming in at lower levels.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.